Rebecca Cramer, and I am here live. Today, I'm going to talk about social selling. Now, usually we talk about things that are specific to LinkedIn. Sometimes, I interview people who have information that might be valuable to my connections, my audience. And so I'd love to hear from you if this information if I'm on the right track, if you're interested, if you're engaged. Comment in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm going to be talking about social selling today, which everybody needs to be doing, of course. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Okay, so I kind of have a different setup today. And so I have a camera instead of on my laptop, so I'm really going to try to talk to the camera and not pay attention. But I do have to look at the chat below here. So I'm just going to, let me just make sure that I'm all set. So I wanted to talk today about social selling. Now, some of the ways that we used to sell socially, I guess networking, certainly, in-person networking, definitely something that we used to do. We can't really do that at all anymore right now, especially right now. Some other things that we used to do as far as social selling goes, I don't know, I suppose just networking, really. Obviously, cold calling is a way to reach out to leads. But social, and of course emails, of course emails. But connecting with people socially, right now especially, just absolutely gives you the upper hand when it comes to communication, when it comes to appearing as though you're an expert at what you do. Some of the ways that we keep social selling as part of what we do here at Loud Marketing. So some of the things that we do to sell socially, connecting with our audience is very, very important. And different ways that we do that. Some things that are really important, creating content that's super engaging. So some things that are obviously really, really important. So creating content that's super engaging, that allows you to appear as though you're an expert. So anytime that you can help other people understand that you're an expert, whether it's teaching them something or even just posting content that might be relevant and engaging to them. So regardless of what your particular topic or service or product you're trying to sell, or even if you're trying to get a job, posting content that might be of interest to people who are paying attention to you or who you want to pay attention to you, definitely very, very important, because what that will do is that actually will eventually, hopefully, eliminate some of the sales process, because you're already showing them that you're an expert and that you're knowledgeable in your field. I guess kind of like what I'm doing right now, kind of like, giving people the opportunity to actually see that you know what you're talking about, so that they could either pay attention, or even, there's other opportunities for people to, even on social media, people like to complain on social media, right? So one of the ways that we need to make sure that we're really paying attention when it comes to social media is listening. So social listening. So important to show up and be available on social media. Make sure that you're there, but also make sure that you're listening. So if people are always complaining about the same thing, if people are always talking about the same thing, if there's opportunity for you to actually solve problems, that's huge. Being able to solve problems is definitely important. So communicating that, absolutely. But social listening, what that means is you could even do it when you're searching. So if there's something in particular that you think that people might be talking about, or words that they might be using, that's also an opportunity for you to actually do a search. So one of the things, for example, that we might do is whether it's on LinkedIn specifically, or Facebook groups, or even Twitter, anywhere really on social media, people will say, hey, I'm looking for such and such. I'm looking for help with this. And often that's a way that you can also search. So you can find those people who are searching, and ta-da, you're available. You have the solution, and hopefully you've been creating content and posting content all this time so that they can see that you're an expert, even if this is their first communication with you. So very important to also be paying attention to what people are saying online. You can do that by searching. You can set up, there's different things that you can set up so that you are paying attention on and you get notifications. But certainly making sure that you're checking to find this information is important, because it gives you the opportunity to be able to reach out when you see that there's a problem that you can solve. So I just wanna remind myself what else I am. So listening to strategic, providing value, and then building meaningful relationships. That's the other thing that is definitely important when it comes to social selling. So you've established the fact that you're on social media. You're potentially or hopefully posting content that's interesting and engaging and the right content for your audience. But you also have to make sure that you're not just talking to the world. You need to make sure that you're engaging and that you're actually creating a relationship, and not just being a person talking at people. Being a person or a brand that engages and interacts and pays attention to things that people do need and that people are looking for, and that they themselves are actually, maybe they're creating content. There's so much opportunity for you to engage in their content. What does that do? Kind of the same as it would if we were at a networking event. If I'm liking and commenting on your posts, maybe that's a hello at a networking event. So even though we're doing things differently, we're actually able to do things a lot bigger than we were before. The nice thing about being able to do things virtually is you don't have to be in person. So definitely making sure that we're communicating on social media. Most of the successful, I think there's a stat somewhere that I was reading that 91% of all top performing sales reps are using social media in their sales. And I absolutely, I mean, what are the other 9% doing? I have no idea. So I just want to see if there was anything else that I was missing that I wanted to make sure that I discussed, because I don't think that, some ideas for different ways to draw attention, for sure. So on the different platforms, definitely making sure that you are liking other people's posts, commenting on other people's posts, interviewing people who are your audience, who are your specific, your target client. What that will do when you interview someone, either on live or any way possible, it gives you the ability to ask questions to that specific audience, really, and respond in a way that shows that you're an expert. So very, very important to make sure that you are engaging, asking questions, interviewing, creating content around that specific audience. And yeah, I think I didn't have a whole lot else to talk about. So just to kind of summarize, of course, social selling, very, very important. Make sure you show up, make sure you create content, make sure that you engage in other people's content and show that you're interested and that you are a real human being and not just someone, a team or whatever the case might be, that you're real. And have fun social selling. Don't forget to join. I actually have a Facebook group that I would love for you guys to join. Please DM me for that information. And don't forget to like and follow and connect with me. I'd love to hear feedback. Thanks so much, guys.